So today I would like to talk about cardinals. No, not those cardinals. I would like to talk about the virtues in Christianity, which are called the Cardinal Virtues. Those are courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance. And I would like to talk about this using the examples of Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president, and Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia. Let's have a look. Let's start with courage. Well, the first one is fairly easy. It's not courageous to invade a smaller country with a weaker military, thinking if you just go in with full brute force and, force your will upon the country, they would surrender. Well, that's not courage. That's actually cowardice, because Putin was afraid of Ukraine choosing its own destiny, basically. Zelensky, on the other side, chose to defend bravely his country. Zelensky as well could have taken the easier route. He could have just ran out of the country and formed a government in exile. But then his famous quote of his came, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition. So Zelensky is becoming a very courageous leader of his country. Let's move on to wisdom. Putin was warned very strictly and clearly and transparently about the sanctions and the consequences and the cost if he invaded Ukraine. He chose to do it anyway. That was not very wise. Zelensky, on the other side, kept the door for negotiations open until the very last minute. He even continues talking to the Russian side now. And I think that is a very wise approach. Fighting for your country while still talking to the enemy. Justice. To invade a smaller country and to force their will upon this country is not justice. That's just brute oppression. Putin hasn't acted with justice in the past, so that's not really surprising to me. Zelensky is acting what the majority of his population wants to do. They want to live in a free and a democratic Ukraine with orientation towards virtues and democratic values. He didn't flee, he kept his act together and is not overreacting, so that is a just man. Temperance. What does temperance mean? This means self-control and moderation. Now, we can see all these tragedies happening in the cities and in the countryside of Ukraine. Entire cities being, blown to pieces and rubble, and thousands upon thousands of people dying needless deaths. So this is nothing to do with temperance. Putin and the entire Russian government and the Russian forces are not tempered in their way of war. Zelensky, on the other side, just before the war started, he didn't fan the flames, he didn't increase provocations, he kept his calm and was very tempered in his way of acting. And even since then, he's very firm in his goals of this war, and at the same time he's not lashing out against Russia offensively. So that is a tempered reaction. A very strong but tempered reaction. Don't confuse temperance with weakness. So if we compare the way these virtues are lived by these two men, we can see that one guy, Zelensky, really embodies these virtues and the other one doesn't. And that has a huge impact on the people and their leadership style, because Putin doesn't do what he says and Zelensky does what he says, and that inspires his people, that inspires his country, that's inspiring for his population as well, and that makes him a good leader. I'm not saying that the one guy, Vladimir, is purely evil and the other guy, Wolodymyr, is purely a saint. I don't think that's the case. But looking at these not those cardinals, but those cardinal virtues, it helps us, it helps you and me to get a very good grip on the character of a man, on the character of a human. And obviously, Volodymyr is doing a way better job at living those virtues than bloody old Vlad. These cardinal virtues can help you and me become a better character on our way towards God. And I wish you a very blessed day.